Hey BookTube, this is Friday Reads. I'm Jen and I talk about audiobooks, and this week I have 5 books to tell you about. A couple of rereads, some really good ones, some kind of meh ones, and I'll start with that one. That would be The Perfect Delusion by Renshaw. This was narrated on audio by Holly Chandler and Matthew Holland. All around, this was just a, okay, whatever, kind of a book. It is adult romance, and as far as the narration goes, these two narrators, you know, this is where personal preference comes into play. They weren't horrible. They weren't fabulous. They were just kind of okay. You know, it wasn't like I couldn't listen because it was just wrong or anything like that. But for me, it was just the kind of average, you know, kind of meh. And so for that reason, I just kind of, I can't even comment actually. It's like, okay, it was just there. The story is fine. It's just an adult romance about a woman who is an assistant to a jerk. And he's kind of a prodigy, and he treats her like garbage, and she just, you know, she's ready to quit, and he says, I need for somebody to pretend to be my wife. And so he's going to pay her $5 million for doing it. So she needs the money. So, you know, of course they fall in love. And I always feel like I'm not giving you spoilers on these sorts of things because it's pretty much a foregone conclusion that it's always going to have a happily ever after. So yeah, that said, there you go. It was about a 3-star read. I think, no, actually I gave it 2 stars because I was so unimpressed. So then, because I just didn't know what to read and I wanted something that I knew was good, I picked up A Hidden Fire by Elizabeth Hunter. This is the first in her Elemental Mysteries series, and it is narrated by Dina Perlman. When I first listened to this series a while ago, because this is a reread for me, I was not impressed with Dina Perlman, but I didn't hate her either, her narration. I don't know, she is pretty widely known in the narrating community. I mean, she's done a lot of stuff. But I think she mainly does romantic suspense, and this in particular is vampires. And it's such a great take on vampires. Elizabeth Hunter writes really intelligent stories, and I love her as an author, and I enjoy her on Facebook as a person, you know. So anyway, Dina Perlman was, she was good. You kind of get in kind of the groove with the whole story, and it begins to sound like it's supposed to sound like this, you know? And she's good at doing an Italian accent, which one of the main characters is Italian, and the other is from Texas, and that Texas accent kind of comes and goes a little bit. So I don't know, it was okay, you know, in terms of the narration. I have to tell you, as this series went on, I got tired of it. And I listened to about 8 books because it's 4 books in the first series, and then it's 4 more continuing on the basic thread that wound through the first series, and then there are more, and I just got tired of it. So she continued to narrate, and I don't enjoy her British accents, like from the UK in general, Irish, Scottish, Wales, you know, London. I don't know. It's not like she's bad at it. I just don't enjoy it. So anyway, all of that to say, I loved it. I love this take on vampires having an elemental basic power, and the way that the main character views it as energy, a manipulation of electric energy. And so I just think it's so cool. There are so many little rules about these vampires that are just kind of awesome. Elizabeth Hunter, is so talented. She's so talented at this kind of a story. So I ended up giving it 4.5 stars, and I gave it that before, and so I stuck with my rating. And then I picked up the next book in the series, which is This Same Earth, and that is book 2 in the series. Again, a reread. Same author, same narrator. I liked Dina Perlman better in this one. And the reason is, at the very beginning, the main character of Beatrice is writing in a journal. And it's like she's speaking. And Dina Perlman does that amazingly well. So it's just the kind of flippant attitude and all of the phrasing is so authentic to what's being said. So I love that. So I ended up giving that one 5 stars, and I kind of stopped there. I thought, okay, I'll save the rest of it for later, another time when I need something dependable. So, and that was good. It was a nice break, and yeah, adult vampire romance. Listen, if you have not tried that series and you like vampires, you absolutely have to try reading it. Whether you read it in print or you listen to it, either one, you really need to try it. And then I picked up Good Me, Bad Me by Allie Land. This is narrated by Imogen Church. Now, last week I listened to another book by Imogen Church and loved it. And same this time. She was fantastic. I think she is probably one of my favorite British narrators, mainly because she doesn't fall into that whole BBC newscaster kind of narration, kind of style. She is much more of a voice actor, and I love that. So the narration was fantastic. The reason I picked up this book was because it is the pick for the Deadly Divas book club, and the live show is coming up later, I think next Sunday. And so I needed to have read the book. It is suspense, and it is all about a girl whose mother is a serial killer, and it's about her acclimating after she tells on her mom. Her mom gets arrested, and her mom has seriously abused her. And so it's all about her going into foster care and learning to adapt and being bullied in the English school system. What is it with that? Are all kids bullied in the English school system? I mean, it's like Harry Potter and this girl, and I know I've read other books where that happens. You guys in England, in schools, you kids need to be nice to each other. If you're not, there's probably as much of that going on in American schools as there is over there, but I don't know. Theirs get put into books more often, or at least the ones I've read. So, yeah, I was bored. To be honest, I was really bored. It didn't move very fast. It was very much of a psychological character study, and I'm used to things moving along, you know, new adult romance, YA romance, you know, other kinds of even mystery kinds of things. And I just didn't care, for one thing. And I felt bad for this girl, but I thought there's going to be a twist at the end. And sure enough, there was. And I didn't care. I was just so bored. So if, you know, I have a short little span of attention. And that, yeah, something really has to grab me. And this didn't. So, yeah. I will have more to say at the live show or on the live show. I'll put all the information for that in the description box, so check that out. It'll be on Sunday night at 7 or 8 o'clock. I can't remember, on Lisa's channel. But I'll put the exact details in the description box so you can check that out. And come to the live show. It's going to be great. So I ended up giving that one 2 stars. It was like 2-star book, 5-star book, 2-star book, yeah. And then I got another really, really good book. There was, in my library, there was a book that came up called What Lucy Knew by Karma Brown. Sorry. Narrated by Georgina Marie. You know what? I've been thinking about this lately. I would love to know what Georgina Marie's real name is, because surely that's not it. I don't know. And she spells it in a really interesting way with J's. So anyway, this was so good. I really, really enjoyed it. The premise is what got me, what drew me in. And before I go on, I do love Georgina Marie. She does have a very distinct way of narrating, and I happen to like it a lot. So again, personal preference. You know, if that is something that bugs you, you're not going to like it. But if it's something you like, obviously you are going to like it. The story is about a woman who was in a coma and she wakes up. And so that's the very beginning. And as soon as she wakes up, she says, "Where's my husband? Is he okay? What happened?" And she is assuming she's been in a car accident, but she wasn't. She slipped on some ice and hit her head. And it turns out that she's remembering vividly and with a complete sense of authentic, like it really happened. She remembers stuff that didn't happen, and she doesn't believe them. Everyone around her is telling that. Her parents, her now boyfriend, who she thought was a coworker, and it doesn't make sense to her. And so the book is all about her learning how to deal with her past that she doesn't remember, that person that she didn't remember. She does remember up to a certain point, but then it kind of gets all fuzzy and she remembers something completely different. And she begins to realize that she is remembering something that didn't happen. And it's because your brain apparently doesn't like it when you're not making new memories, and so it will fill in the gaps. And so that's what happened. This is a real medical condition. And I kept thinking, oh, she's dropped into an alternate universe or something. All the stuff I read like that just kind of led me to think, oh yeah, of course that's what's going to happen. No, this was all about her learning to work through this problem of thinking she was married to a boyfriend that she broke up with 4 years earlier, and being involved with a guy who was just her friend. So, working her way through all of that and then getting to the end, it was just so interesting. If you like that kind of interesting brain conditions, like neurology, if you like that kind of thing, this is a great book. And Karma Brown, I want more. I want more of this woman's writing because it was good. I love the ending, loved pretty much everything about it. I did give What Lucy Knew 4 stars. It was like 4.25 and I rounded it down. So right now I'm reading The Real Deal. This is by Lauren Blakely, and it is narrated by Irin Mallon and Zachary Weber. And I really like the narration. I've always liked Zachary Weber. Irin Mallon, I had to slow this down to 1.0 speed because I usually listen to things at 1.5 speed. She tends to draw out the ends of her sentences. And I think that the problem is when you listen to it faster, it draws it out just enough to make it annoying. But when you listen to it at 1.0 the speed, it doesn't do that. So I still want to listen to it faster, so I'm just putting up with it. So it's a cute story, and it's not a hate to love. Nothing about either one of them irritates the other. That's so refreshing to me lately. I can't even tell you why. It's just nice to read about happy people. So I'm listening to that. I'm about 3/4 of the way through it, and after that, I don't know what I'm going to pick up. I do want to read some Elizabeth Hunter books, some of her new books that have been coming out. One is The Storm, and it is part of her Irin Chronicles. And it's not on audio, so I'll have to read it with my eyes. We all know what a problem that is, but yeah, some sacrifices need to be made for excellent books written by excellent authors. So I don't know how good the book will be. It's more like a novella, but yeah. So I might read that, and I have Audible romance that I might pick up something there, and there are other books on my TBR that I know I want to read. So anyway, I won't go on and on about that. I will tell you 2 live shows coming up. The first is, again, Deadly Divas. It's going to be on Sunday night at, I believe it's 7 p.m. It might be 8 p.m., but I don't remember. With Lisa at Books and Smiles and Trish, who is the other moderator for that Goodreads group. And I think somebody else is joining us, and I can't remember who it is. So that will be interesting. We'll be talking about Good Me, Bad Me. And then my live show for the Happily Ever Afters book club will be coming up on the 29th of August on Wednesday night at 8 p.m. So you have time to have dinner and put your kids to bed, if you have kids, and do all your stuff, and then sit down and start commenting and start talking. It's going to be really fun. So I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be me and Lisa and a surprise. So I will let that be a surprise. I think I will let that be a surprise. So anyway, mark your calendars. That's coming up. So both those things are coming up. So have a great weekend. I hope you're just basking in sunshine, or at least if you're caught in the rain and it's kind of gloomy outside, I hope you have a great book to curl up with. So that's it for now for me. I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.